10th aphorism. So, ninth aphorism explained what is the role of the vital force in the health. 10th aphorism is also an important aphorism. Without the vital force, what happens? Okay? Because when you go into any hospital or anything else, when the person is a coma stage, you just examine. Seems to be nothing is there. But the heart rate is there, pulse is there. That person is considered as the living. Okay? The another person is there, he is a dead. Okay? So there is a difference. The material organism, without the vital force, is capable of no sensation, no function, no self-preservation. Yes. Without the vital force. When there is no vital force, no sensation. Sensation is not there. No organs are function, no function. Then another one is very, very important. No self-preservation. What is the meaning of preservation? You just keep it alive, not to decay. There is a difference between ours with the compare with the cadaver. You attend that anatomic class just to see the organs. How they put the organ, how they put the dissection body, whether it is on the outside, no. The whole body is present inside that fluid. Okay, that fluid which is act as a preservative, formalin. Okay, otherwise when the anatomy master shows any organs to you, before that organ must be put in that what? Formalin, because the formalin act as an preservatives. That formalin only preserve that organ not to decay. Because if any person is there, whoever it may be, you just also see in your life, I am very sorry to say that, you also see in your life, that person who are very close to you, due to some reason, they are died. Okay, some reason they are died. Whether you keep them with you for a long time, it may be possible in the picture, cinema picture, but it is not possible in the real one. Okay, because when you want to keep that person now, before that they are called as person, now they are called as body. Before that they are called as he or she, now they are called as it. So this is the respect which we give the vital force. When the vital force is there, we just tell she or he. When the vital force is not there, it is considered that it is a dead body. It is not possible to keep. Why it is not possible to keep? Just to see the footnote. It is dead and now only subject to the power of the external physical world. It decays and is again resolved into its chemical constitution. Superb. Where it comes, it goes. Where it started, the end is also like that one. In the zygote, you already know about that one. It is the formation of the cells. Then the cells forms the tissues. The tissues form the organs. That organ is doing the function. Like that, when it is decayed our body, it just having that affection with the external world, the body become decayed and automatically everything goes from the body. At last, that bone, which is also made of the calcium, it is also going like that. Okay? So here, this is the vital force. This is the main function of the vital force. Self-preservations. Just having that mind, what? We are nothing. When we compare the role of the vital force, we are nothing else in this world. We are also studying. Whether you are able to study in the correct time, even though you are the gold medalist getting the university, okay, you are a good student in the merit. Do you think whether you are having that ability in all the situations? No, it is not like that one. But that vital force, admirable function. It keeps the normal function, normal sensations, and also the self-preservation. When there is no vital force, no sensation, no function, and no self-preservation. It derives all sensations and performs all the functions of the life solely by means of the immaterial being. Yes, this material organism derives all sensations and performs all the functions of life solely by means of the immaterial being. That is a vital principle. Okay, so this material body only acting by the presence of the vital force which animates the material organism in health and in disease. Yes, this vital force only acts upon the material body in the disease condition as well as the healthy condition. Here in the bracket, just you see the vital principle, but when you see the ninth aphorism, the spiritual vital force, because you already know about that one. There is a major difference in the 5th edition and 6th edition of the Organon. In 5th edition of the Organon, Hahnemann used the word vital force. In 6th edition of the Organon, in some places the vital force is replaced by the vital principle. In some place, Hahnemann put vital force as it is. Okay? So this is the role of the vital force. There is, when there is no vital force, what happened? No sensation, no function, and no self-preservation. Clear? 11th aphorism. So 9th aphorism, 10th aphorism, 11th aphorism directly connected with the vital force. 9th aphorism we explained about the role of vital force in health. 10th aphorism we explained without the vital force what happened. That 11th aphorism we explained what happened when the persons become ill. Okay? When a person falls ill, it is the only this spiritual self-acting within bracket automatic life force everywhere present in his organism that is primarily deranged by the dynamic influence upon it of a morbific agent inimical to life. So when the person is falls ill, which one is first affected? The first that vital force is affected. That is the spiritual self-acting vital force. Where it is present? Where is it present in the head? Where is it present in the leg? Where is it present in the internal organ? No. It is present everywhere present in his organism that is primarily deranged by the dynamic influence upon it of a morbific agent. Okay? The vital force present in all the organism. The vital force is present in each and every cells of all the organism. That only primarily deranged. Okay? How it is affected? It is affected by another dynamic affection. Okay? Here you just note that this vital force, it is an immaterial one. This is the dynamic one. So this dynamic vital force is only affected by the another dynamic force. That is a morbific agent. We can say sora, psychosis, or syphilis. This is the diseased force which affects the vital force. Okay, clear? It is only the vital principle deranged to such an abnormal state that can furnish the organism with its disagreeable sensations and incline it to the irregular processes which we call disease. Okay? So this inimical force only affects the vital force. So this vital force, the deranged is an abnormal state which can furnish the organism with its disagreeable sensations. When the diseased force affects the vital force, that vital force only produces the disagreeable sensations to the outside, to the irregular process which we call disease. That process is called as disease. For has power invisible in itself. Yes, this vital force, this is the power of the organism which is present in the inside and only cognizable by its effects on the organism. Superb. What is a cognizable is nothing but an capable of being known. Okay, this is only cognizable by its effects on the organism. its morbid derangement only make itself known by the manifestation of the disease. So when the vital force affects inside by another dynamic force, diseased force, otherwise called as morphic agent, this vital force shows its effects by the external. This external is only by the manifestation of the disease in the sensations and functions. Okay, whether you think all the parts are affected, it is also decided by the dynamic force which affects the vital force. Okay, so here Hahnemann clearly put that in the sensations and functions of those parts of the organism exposed to the senses of the observer and physician. It's clear. Okay, so it is only decided by the dynamic infection force. It is only decided by the dynamic inimical force. Because when the dynamic inimical force is capable to produce the cough and cold to the person, when the dynamic influence which affect the vital force, then only that vital force produce the disease condition. That is cough and cold. Okay. For example, just I explain a simple example. For example, the child now, one child is crying. Okay, so now that mother only find out what is the cause for the cry. Okay, so that why the child is crying, the child needs that particular doll. Okay, now the child wants that particular doll, then only the child is crying. So here, the doll makes something in the inside. The doll make affection in the vital force. That vital force now, the doll is needed by the organism. So how the vital force is expressed? It's by the weeping only. So this weeping, that is due to the doll. At the same time, when the child having that cough and cold by the dynamic influence upon that vital force, the child having that symptoms of that nose running, it indicates that the external cause which affect the vital force and makes the vital force to produce the symptoms. Okay, because in 6th, 7th of our we already know about that one. That symptom is only demands the remedy. When the child cries, we just to know what is the reason for the cry. The reason is the doll. When we provide the doll to the child, that weeping is stopped. Like that, when the child having the cough and cold, this cough and this cold is produced by the dynamic infection which is from the outside. Now you prescribe the correct medicine for that one. Now it is all become the normal. So only that word is there. Those parts of the organism exposed to the senses of the observant vision, that is by morbid symptoms. That's all. What is the meaning of morbid, which is abnormal? What is the symptom? Is the external manifestation of the internal derangement of the vital force. And in no other way can it make itself known. Okay. When the symptom is produced, it means definitely it is by the affection of the vital force. How the vital force is affected means it is only affection of the another dynamic force, diseased force. So here, you just imagine that vital force is there. It is the health. Okay. Now the disease condition is there. Second point. How the vital force affected by the another dynamic force, diseased force. Then only that symptoms are there. Then only that person gets disease. Because disease is the nothing but an alteration in the state of the healthy individual which is known by the symptoms. So, when the vital force is affected, the symptoms are produced. When the symptoms are there, now just you confirm that patient is diseased. Okay? Now you prescribe the medicine basis of the symptom which is available with the patient. Now the symptoms are removed. When the symptoms are removed means 8th aphorism. When the symptoms are removed means the vital force becomes the normal condition. So the person is considered the health. That's all. When you know this concept, it is very easy for you to understand about that organon, particularly the doctrinal part of the organon. Because the doctrinal is nothing but a theoretical part of the organon. Hahnemann explain all these things. Okay? So clear? So here, this is the 11th aphorism, very important aphorism. What is the role of the vital force in the disease condition. 12th aphorism. It is the morbidly affected vital energy alone that produce diseases, so that the morbid phenomena perceptible to our senses expresses at the same time all the internal change, that is to say, the whole morbid derangement of the internal dynamics. Super. Okay? So when the vital force is affected, that vital force only expresses the symptoms. When the vital force is not affected, there is no symptoms. So here it is a morbidly affected vital energy alone that produces the diseases. So that the morbid phenomena perceptible to our senses expresses at the same time all the internal change. Okay? When the internal changes takes place, at the same time it just shows outside. When the child needs the doll, then will they crying immediately, not 2 or 3 days later. When you want to worry about something else, okay, now you need a mobile phone. That parent won't get mobile phone to you. Immediately you start to anger, or immediately you start to weeping. It is immediate effect. How the vital force is affected? It shows it's outside. So the morbid phenomena perceptible senses express at the same time all the internal change. That is to say, the whole morbid derangement of the internal dynamics. Okay, so that only when the symptoms are outside, when symptoms are present outside, it indicates that some internal changes takes place. Okay, in a word, they reveal the whole disease. Okay, so when the internal changes takes place, when the vital force is affected, the vital force produces symptoms to the outside. Also, the disappearance and the treatment of all the morbid phenomena and of all the morbid alterations that differ from the healthy vital operations. Nothing. Simple. The disappearance and the treatment of all the symptoms certainly affects and necessarily implies the restoration of the integrity of the vital force. What is the meaning of the implies? Implies means express or state indirectly. So after treatment, when there is no symptom in the outside, it indicates that indirectly it indicates that that vital force become the normal. Okay? The restoration of the integrity of the vital force and therefore the recovered health of the whole organism. When even though the aphorism is the 11 or 12 lines, it indicates only one thing. When the vital force is affected, it shows its affection through the symptoms. When the symptoms are there, it indicates that internal change or internal vital force is affected. First thing. Second thing, when the vital force is, when the symptoms are disappear under the treatment, under your medicine, okay, it indicates that or indirectly indicates that your vital force become the normal condition. Clear?